supporting notation notary project with AWS Signer.
So that is yet another reason to keep the release on the 12th and not push it out.
Definitely. Like, I think the sooner the better is. I think that's what you and I were talking about. Sooner the better. But at the same time, we need to make sure we meet all the requirements that we laid out for ourselves. The governance requirements, especially to make sure that we pass any scrutiny.
Yep. Okay, so do you guys have any agenda for today?
I think the specific agenda I had was Pratish was going to raise some PRs to formally, in notation projects, we can describe AWS Signer plugin, and so that community, if is looking at it, will see that now there's Microsoft support was there already, Docker announced some support, now AWS has officially announced support. So I just want to make sure those PRs are merged as soon as possible.
So I was trying to look at your article. Where did you guys develop this plugin, and is that part of the AWS CLI, or is it separate plugin?
It is a separate plugin. It just follows exactly everything that notation plugin requirements specify, so customers can download notation, then customers can install the plugin with it, or if they want, they can just download a single installer from AWS Signer documentation, which installs the notation client as well as the plugin.
And the PR that you want to file is to actually link to the plugin from the documentation, right?
The PR, we said link to the plugin from the document, from the notation documentation. Just like today, we point back to the Azure plugin as an example plugin. The reason I think we should think about mentioning the AWS Signer plugin is because it's also used for verification, and it follows the other capabilities that we have developed for our plugin architecture, whether it's the signature envelope, whether it is the verification support. So I think that gives the community a more richer set of examples to look at.
Yeah, just send the PR. I will actually approve as soon as possible. Is that the PR that you pinged me about?
Yes, that's the PR I pinged you about, and I think Pratish is on the call. If he has not raised the PR, he will, and we would like to get that merged as soon as possible so that everybody gets the visibility. And talking about the PR to modify the notation docs to mention Signer plugin.
Or you're talking about website?
Both. I think for the website PR, I was able to push the review comments. And then there was one for the notation docs that you were going to raise, right?
Oh, it's already done. It's already merged.
Oh, it's already merged? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can add a call out. I dropped a link in the chat. I have a active PR right now. It's about managing plugins. I can add a link to it there as well.
Oh, let me have a look at that, Zach. I know.
Yeah, if you look at the file, it's all the way at the bottom where it just says currently available plugins.
You're right. Actually, I left some comments on this yesterday as well, Zach. So I did leave some comments on this.
Yeah, I'm in the process of addressing those comments right now, along with a couple other PRs.
That will be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah. I think that was my agenda item for today. And I agree with you, Tori, that now we have this behind us. So I will have some more bandwidth to look at all the other reviews I was behind on.
Okay. So is there anything that we need to discuss about the release on the 12th? Because that's actually next Monday, right?
Yeah, I think we can look at the board right now. If you want to share your screen, or I can share my screen, we can look at the board as to where we are with those things, and then get a sense if 12th is looking real or not. But yeah, like I can share my screen.
Yeah, if you have it ready, just go ahead.
Yeah, I can get up.
He did share some PRs with me last night, which he wants to get, which he wants for 1.0. Let me see if I can get those links.
I think we had some chatter about not worrying about those uh, error message improvements, right? Because that's a bigger change. We all agree that's not a good change to make right now. Let me share my screen.
I agree, but there are some other PRs which we want to merge.
Let's look at this. These are the open ones, right? Add notation CLI to WinGet package manager.
Samir, these are all open items. I don't think we will be able to complete all of them. Oh wait, sorry, my bad. It's post 1.0. You cannot do it unless you have 1.0.
You know, I'm looking at 1.0.0, or I can just click on this because I was just looking at, see, this is the all table open. Just while
Yeah,
we're looking,
that should be the same.
that should be the same, 4 to 24.
Wouldn't that be in the wrong milestone?
They don't look all the same. Why is that? In progress.
Yes, they shouldn't be because you cannot have homebrew setup unless you have released 1.0. So it has to be post 1.0 item. But it's
Yeah,
been
the homebrew and the WinGet one. Is that correct, Pritesh? What do you mean?
yeah. I mean,
I agree with this. Mhm.
So let me change this.
yeah, I don't know how you want to create a new milestone like fast follow for 1.0. I don't know how E was tracking this.
There is a different milestone. There are more milestones. There's a, like, for example, if I go back to the all table open, there's a 110 milestones. I think we can park it there for right now. So if you guys are okay, I can just move it.
I mean, both works for me. I think what he wanted was like, as soon as we do 1.0, we should have homebrew ready. So he didn't want to wait for 1.1, but it cannot be done as part of, it's like post
Okay.
one fast follow thing.
How about we just put a comment for Yi? You move it to another milestone. This cannot be done. Because
Pritesh, do you know whether that's the same also for WinGet or?
I'm not sure about WinGet. I've never, like, yeah. I'm assuming possibly we will do it a fast follow up after 1.0 for both. I mean, that's the reason it might have been pending till now.
Okay, I'll put both of them in the notes that actually, and I'll ask E to actually go and investigate that. But yeah, so as part of the one, we need to for homebrew, we need to have the release before we actually do the homebrew.
why is that? Why is that? I just want to record that reason. What is the reason for that?
They do not accept pre-RC releases in homebrew. So we tried to do that and they declined actually publishing the RC release. So it needs to be a semantic version. So they said the RC cannot go in homebrew, 1.0.0 can go. It's interesting guidance or kind of thing that homebrew has.
Got it. Okay, so same thing for WinGet. Okay.
For WinGet, I'm not familiar with, so that I'll rely on me to actually say what needs to be done here. Maybe one of the things, Samir, we need to think after this release is like when we build those boards, right? Whether like we can release the binaries as 1.0.0, right? But this is kind of still 1.0.0 activity to publish on the package managers. but we don't need to go into discussions right now. I'm fine kind of having a immediate post 100 activities board
Agreed.
where we need to do those things within the day or
Okay.
two after the release.
Okay. So the first two we talked about, the signature specification has a linked PR request to it. A blog post, I know we are iterating on this one. I left some comments. I will look at it again today. Faye has blocked some time next week on this also to get it published. Security best practices documentation is undergoing. I see we have link pull request. For Zach talked about these things, the security best practices for plugin download. So he's working on that. So we
And
have
this should
that.
be in progress, right? Because I see a PR already.
Yeah, they are showing in progress. But this one, okay, this one I can mark in progress. You're right.
That's not in progress. We don't have recommendations for the plugin development.
No, I think we have, right? There's an open.
Yeah,
there's
there's
a
no
PR,
PR.
there's a PR on it now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we added that last week. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So here, this is in progress. So this is in PR review. Actually, I can say this is in PR review, right? All of these are in PR review.
The top
Yep.
one is like a umbrella issue that encompasses the three issues below it. So, I mean, it tracks it. Basically, there's no direct work for that one. It's all indirect from the other three issues.
Got it. This top would mean line number 19, which I'm showing right now.
Correct.
Okay, that's fine. And what about the desktop.exe? This is the to-do. This bug is there. Like, oh, this is the bug we are talking about. So there's a linked PR on this one now. Is this fixed? Pritish, did you get a chance to look at this one? The fix for this issue?
Nope, I will take a look.
No, that's yeah. I think Sylvia is working on that. That was the one that we discussed on Monday, right?
Right. Okay, so let me mark this in progress. I think based on this, I think this is looking good. From a governance structure perspective, let's look at the governance issue where they are, because that's the thing I keep going back on, Toddy, as thing we should do before we announce to the world.
I had before we go there, I had one more thing for 100, the security audits. I don't think we have item for security audit. At the minimum, I think we need to add as a post-release activity to link the security audit from the documentation. I know that it most probably, I didn't read the blog post proposal, but we should link.
Yeah, you're right. In the blog post proposal, sorry to jump in, there is a mention about linking to the security audit.
Okay.
Also, are we going to upload the report somewhere on notation code base or anything like that?
Yeah, we should do that also. So I would say we need to add one more item for the kind of security audit, what we want to do there.
Yeah, like we have it for fuzzing.
Yep.
As another post 1.0 release item or sort of synchronous item, we'll need to update the website banner or docs site banner. At the very least, I'll need to update the link to the package, but also we'll need to pull the text that says we're in RC status and you may find missing documentation and stuff may not work as you expect. So if there's other things you want me to introduce into the banner, I'm happy to iterate in the PR, and it's your opportunity to have something in there, but that's another item.
Is that being tracked, Zach? Like, do we have a tracker for that?
I just thought of it.
So.
I just thought of it on the call.
No.
Okay. So let's add that issue and we'll mark it for 1.0.0 milestones. We don't miss it.
Well, I mean, it doesn't block 1.0.0. It has to, it's like a fast follow for 1.0.0 because I can't merge it until the stuff is live, until they cut the binaries.
Yeah, I think that's so. Yeah, so I think we've hit on this topic twice now about 1.0.0 for binary versus 1.0.0 for announcing to the world, right? So, Toddy, as you remember, right, when we did the first RC1, first RC2, we were calling them as system releases because they included the notation client, the library, the specifications as well. So you're calling them system releases so that the world knows all of it is coming together. The last few releases we have done RCs, they only included the notation and some of the notation libraries, not all of them. Now, when we go to 1.0.0, I'm thinking we shall bring everything together and say it is a 1.0.0 of everything, including the CLI, the libraries, and the specs. So everything goes as one package. So for that reason, going back to what Zach was saying, to me, 1.0.0 is not just the binary, but everything, and that includes the governance issues.
I agree with you. Yeah, I'm in agreement with that.
Okay.
One thing we should maybe, I don't know, last time we did some updates to the release criteria, right? Maybe we should kind of revisit that again.
Release criteria. Where did we add that? Not in this. Let's see.
I think as part of the release criteria, I'd love to see what you all define as sort of hard release criteria versus fast follow stuff, like what things can actually block a 1.0 announcement. So for example, linking on the website to the binary, does that block the 1.0 announcement, or do we just have to get it out within a reasonable time after the announcement? Same thing with like generating the CLI docs for the notation binaries, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking for the definition. If one of you have it handy, do that.
Give me a second. Yeah, I'm struggling to find it. Release checklist is in the notation repository.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go there, scroll down, release checklist and release management. Although this is pretty old, what I see 8 months ago, 2 years ago. So was it for the first RC when we did the update?
Yeah, we define the alpha beta stable attribution.
Let's put that as post 1.0, Samir, and maybe have a discussion not on Monday, but we can look on either next Thursday or the Monday after that about the release criteria. Let's agree for now that we need, I think we need to, so we need to, as a steps, the steps that I see them, we need to release the binaries first, right?
Yep.
Then we need to do the updates on the banners, on the website, release the security audit, or publish the security audit, and then do the announcement. So announcement should come last once we have everything ready.
Agree with that.
So one call out I want to make is that if we're requiring merges, so like that'll require a doc merge. I don't have the ability to merge. So if that's dependent on folks that do that, like if it's Yi or Feynman and they're in mainland China, that's going to affect timing of when we can do subsequent steps.
I believe, yeah, Pritesh, Samir, and I can do merges. So if needed, we can do that for you, Zach.
Sure. I also don't know, since I don't have merge permission as of right now, I don't know if there's also blocks on merge for like additional reviews. So I'm happy to stage content, but I can't really test it until the binaries would be live. So we would just have to figure out timing from that. And then if there needs to be reviews on the PR and approvals before you can merge it, we would just need to make sure that the timing for all of that works out.
I'll make a note.
I mean, the other thing is, do you want to like have the releases, like the binary and the doc updates out on the 11th and then the blog post get on the 12th so that, you know, anything can be ironed out and you're not rushing to get everything out all on the 12th?
Well, the thing is that actually 11th is Sunday. We can ask, if everything is ready, we can ask the folks in China to do the binary, so we have them ready on Monday morning, and do the announcement like Monday sometime before noon, or we can postpone the announcement for Tuesday.
So the announcement will be for notation 1.0.0, right? But I think my concern about the governance issues are not still addressed. So I don't want to announce I'm okay generating a binary, but not doing the blog post until all the governance issues are also settled.
Okay, let's look at the governance stuff that we need to do.
Yeah. So these are all the listed governance items. Most of them are closed, as we can see here. Let me just sort it by the ones which are. Why is it in progress? Okay. Three-factor contributing guide for Notary project. This is in progress.
Can we move them to 1.0 if we want them to be with release blocker or something like a post 1.0 so that at least he can track them? Right now, he's only looking at 1.0.
So which maybe we need to decide which ones we are considering blocking for 1.0, because there are quite a few things that are filed here, and I'm not sure that we'll be able to address everything.
Okay, we can add a comment here as we go along. Define and document the process of Notary project health. Let's look at this one. This, I believe we should have. What do you guys think?
I am not sure about this, because this can be kind of, we can do ongoing improvements on this. We can have some documentation, but one of the things that, for example, I would like to see is like regular reviews on, let's say, the health of the project internally, not so much reporting to CNCF, but for our own benefits, like let's say every 6 months, we kind of do a retrospective and understanding, okay, how we are. And we have not done that on a regular basis. So I think we need to go through at least one iteration of retrospective, and it's good thing to do it after 1.0, how things went. So I don't think it should be blocking for 1.0. We should have it relatively soon, kind of as a first version. That's why I was thinking if we can do a retrospective after 1.0, we can actually have this item completed as that retrospective.
Okay, any other thought, Pritesh? We have a 1-1 split on this one. What do you think, Pritesh, about this one? Is this?
Yeah, I think I'm fine with this because anyway, CNC requires you to do a health audit once a year. So I think we already have a mechanism there. Because I still saw a mail from Freeman about that audit. So
Okay,
we have
let's
other
Actually,
mechanisms.
as at our level, we are not required. They asked us to do it due to the issue that was filed with the CNCF. But at this level, I don't think we are required to do once a year. We need to be
Okay.
graduated.
Fine, okay.
Okay, next one is governance for working group. Define what working group is, how to request a working group criteria. Okay, I think this can wait.
Yeah, I believe so. And I would say the same for sub project.
Okay, governance for notary community meeting. I think we're doing a good job on this one already. I think right now you're taking notes for today's meeting as an example. So we can wait on this one as well. Branch policies and strategies. Let me click on this one. So far, we have not found a must.
Samir, you're breaking up for me. Is it only for me or?
I don't know. Pritesh, Zach, can you hear me okay?
No, you are breaking up, Samir.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
My computer needs a reboot again. I've noticed this problem. I just need to reboot my computer, which I can't do right now. So anybody else wants to take it up and just share the screen and walk through it?
I could do that. Give me a second. Do you want me? Actually, I'm trying to figure out where my share button is.
Okay.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So we were at branch policies, right?
Yes.
So Pritesh, I'm kind of looking at your guidance here. I can tell you my thoughts, but you're much closer writing the code. Yeah, first, maybe let's start with, is that blocking for 1.0 or not?
So one thing I did realize from looking at this doc is we need to have a release document, which we are missing. Right now, one release document, it doesn't even call out that when you do a release, you need to cut a separate branch for tracking purpose, 1.0. I mean, that's not a requirement. We can decide on that because we can always go back and fork a commit from there. But that's one thing. To manage feature branches and then fine. Yeah, I think using a release branch would be great if we can do that thing. But right now we are doing with ID. I mean, it's not required.
I actually think that we should add this as an item for 1.0.
Yeah, let's do that. I am fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, what do you want to call an RC? We will stop supporting RCs, right? After 1.0. We won't any patch any RC or anything like that even if there is any security issue or anything found in RC.
That is a good point also.
Yeah.
So we should call that out somewhere that, okay, all RCs are not supported now.
Yeah, we should have a doc item for that that specifically calls out the support policy.
Okay, cool.
And that'll also help to, like, I mean, it can be a post 1.0 task, but you can also make a decision about how many releases, how many non-RC releases you want to support going forward, like, you know, N-1 or whatever.
Yep.
So let me make sure. So the release branch that should be required for 1.0. Is that in agreement, Pritesh?
Yeah, I don't mind that. Like, I'm fine with both the approaches. If you don't need it, also if you need it, then I'm fine with both. But yeah,
I would prefer if we have a release branch as part of
let's do
1.0 and this, okay, yeah, let's do a release branch from 1.0. We need a doc item that may not be required for 1.0, but the support policy, right?
Yeah.
But I think in the announcement, we need to, at the minimum, say that we will not support RCs anymore.
I think we have to be careful about saying no to RCs because we have defined in our release we will do a N-1. So I think for 1.0, the supported N-1 is RC7.
Your voice is really faint, but you're saying that for 1.0 we should support RC7, right?
Yes, that's as per our release definition that we were looking at. If you go back to the release definition in notation, that's where we defined it.
Here is the problem that I see. Go ahead, Pritesh, sorry.
I mean, yeah, I would say we shouldn't support RCs if you have 1.0.
I agree with that because I think the support policy is on a version. That is how I understand it. That's the first thing. The second problem I see with this is if we want to support RC7 and 1.0, then we need to put two branches, one for RC7, one for 1.0.
Yeah, I mean, it's not unheard of, or I've seen it with doc. Like if you're doing a doc call out, you can say, you know, 1.0 is the minimum version. After 1.0, we support N-1 versions, N-1 Y stream versions or Z stream versions, whatever you want to call it. So you don't have to start if the support policy is N-1, you can say whenever it starts. You don't have to start it with the 1.0 release. You can say after 1.0.
I'm fine with that. So Samir. I believe we lost Samir. Either he's restarting or although I still see him on the call.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, I was changing my headsets. Is it better now? I changed my headsets.
It's not too much better, but we can understand you.
Okay. I just put something in chat from our release definition.
Yes, it calls about major minor release.
Yeah, not the RCs.
Yeah, and not to try to mince words too much, but RC is release candidate. It's not an actual release, right?
Mm-hmm.
So technically, you know, if we're talking about supporting releases, the RCs are not actually releases, so they're not actually supported.
The question would be whether we support 0. What we had before that, I forgot already. We had.
The problem with that is we cannot have a version between RC7 or RC8. Let's say just for an example. If we have, let's say we find an issue in RC6, we cannot do RC6 1.1.
Yeah. But I'm wondering whether we should support 0.12.0.
No, definitely not. Definitely, that's too fast.
Then I am with Zach here then. So let's just say after 1.0 we support what is written in the Samir, what you posted in the chat.
Okay, I think let's sleep on it. My understanding was we would support.
Yeah, we cannot hear you. Sorry. I didn't hear what you said, Samir.
Same here.
Do you want to restart your machine? We can wait for you. Okay, he's saying that he's going to reboot.
What I heard, picked up a little of what he said. It was something to the effect of we can sleep on it and maybe come back and revisit the decision.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. So while we are waiting for him, kind of looking at the other, so there are quite a few governance work items. I think they kind of repeat for each one of the repositories.
Yeah, I think we should add release management or something like that before 1.0. Because right now what I have seen is even in most of the releases, we are missing one change or other. For example, possibly if we want, we can automate using it as script or something like that.
Can you repeat that, Pritesh? I'm not sure I understood. What are we missing?
So for example, ideally in 1.0, this PR should be there, but it came after 1.0. I don't even know how to do all this, but yeah. Sorry, RC7, not RC7. This PR has to be part of RC7, but somehow we missed making this change. It came after RC7. So it would be great if we can document the whole release process.
Okay, I am fine with this. And this is this item.
In my documentation, I made what all files needs to be changed, where all we need to make an edits and things like that also in that process.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Okay,
one thing we could do is actually have a PR that documents the release process as is and just leave it open throughout the 1.0 release and keep amending when you all find stuff that needs to be added. And that way you kind of have a checklist as you go for this release. And then just post-release, add anything else and then merge it. That way it's kind of like a working item or a working document.
yeah. I am actually, I like that idea. Samir, Pritesh, what do you think?
Yep, I agree.
Okay, so we already have a release management document, right? So let me.
That's very superficial, I would call it. It just talks about,
say again.
I would say it's a superficial document. It just talks about it high level.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even talks about what all files you need to change or what all dependencies you need to update. Because in notation GitHub package, there are at least 3 Go mod files which we need to update. And even I missed those files, and like almost everyone is missing those files.
Right, well, we can create a PR against, like the working PR can be
Yep, yep.
against the markdown file.
That's true. Yeah, I like that idea.
So we will create the PR against the current markdown, but we'll make it more prescriptive. Is that what you're saying, Zach?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's almost like a checklist that one could follow to do a release. And it also has the benefit of externalizing it and not making it tribal knowledge. So if somebody else needed to do a release that hadn't done it before, they could follow it, or, it could rotate amongst maintainers such that, everyone follows the same process.
Question, how can I add this to milestone 100? I don't see the milestones defined here. Is it a tag that we are just adding, or label? I don't see
No,
100 label.
No, milestone is its own thing. Maybe this repo has not created milestones. There's a milestone, add milestone right on the right side.
Yeah, but there is no 100 milestone defined.
Yeah, so maybe, because each repo has to define it individually. So if this is part of some other repo, it's not there yet. What repo is this part of?
I have no idea.
This issue,
GitHub. .github.
.github, right? So that's why it's not showing up there, because that Notary
Okay.
project milestone is not working that repo.
Okay, got it. Okay, but
That's fine. I think when he comes comes online tonight, he can look at that. We have marked this as v1.0 in this repo.
okay. Let me just add a note for him. Okay. Anything else? Samir, while you were out, we looked down and it seems that most of those things are kind of repeating, and I'm pretty sure we completed some of them, like I don't know why this is still open. Well, that may be. No, this should be completed because we have the code owners and maintainers file. I don't know why we didn't close this work items, because most of those should be completed going down. The only couple of things that we are left is, I think the most important is notation naming. I don't know whether we may need to complete this one, which is kind of changing the naming in the.
Yeah, we have to definitely do all of this one. I agree with you.
Yeah. This should be also copy link. Let me add to the notes. Yeah, that's to the notes, and say okay. Anything else that we think we need to do? So far, I think naming and the release management were the two things that we see as blocking for 1.0.
How about report template? Bug report templates. They are they are waiting for review only. If they are just waiting for review, we can have the review done quickly. Yes, they are waiting for review.
Yeah, they are waiting for review.
I will take a pass on them today.
Okay. Let me add to the notes. Bug report templates also need to be added as 100. PRs are ready. So yeah, let's look at the PRs and get them merged before that. So anything about the contributing guide, I think we can push those for after 1.0.
Sorry,
Some
remind me if you were,
interpretation.
remind me if you were able to make all the code or the ownership structure changes, right? There was something we were waiting on Steve to
Yes.
approve. They're all done. Okay.
No, we did everything. The last thing we did was Patrick, he lost access to his account, which we changed, but that was also done. So code owners, they all should be complete. And code owners, maintainers, and GitHub teams, they are all complete.
Okay.
Except, actually, I take that back. The ones that are not complete are in the legacy repos, which are the Notary and Tough. Those two are not.
So we need a statement on that, right? We need a statement on what's our point on that. I think we discussed that.
So that one of the things that I think we discussed a while back in one of the meetings was, first, what do we do with the Tough one? Because there is no activity for the more than a year, I would say. So as post 1.0, when we look again at the governance, we need to make a decision. Okay, what is the time frame when we retire a repository? Because the last one is December 15, 2021. That's the last commit in this repository. And there is no activity in it more than a year. There is no support plan for this. So maybe as a community, we decide to retire it. On the Notary part, right? Let me take a look. This is still kind of supported, although everybody is starting to retire this. I also talking with Justin Cormack at KubeCon, right? I don't know for how long they're gonna support this one, but we can keep them. Let me see on the PR side whether they merge the code owners. There are still actually things going in here. So this is still supported. Those things are not merged, unfortunately. So we can, again, nudge Docker team to get more proactive on these things. I can discuss that with Steve Lasker, who is at Docker now. So we can
okay, that will help. Yeah.
there. Yeah, I can do that.
I want to do one more call out. Like if we look at Notary project in GitHub on the README file, tell me if we have an open PR to fix this README file. If you go to Notary project, go to the README file of this one. This one needs renaming as well. Is this covered by that renaming thing that you talked about earlier?
I don't think so.
So this one, so I think this is the kind of thing I want to make sure we address before we go out and say, because somebody will say, hey, I just went there. This is.
Okay. So.
Yeah, probably
let me add to the notes.
Looks like commands won't run anymore.
The commands are not, so our README file needs major overhaul here. Huh?
Yes, I would just remove them and move some of them to notation. Yeah, it needs a major overhaul actually.
Okay. Do we want to kind of
Yeah, like even the journey section, we might want to conclude it with 1.0 release that, okay, we are doing 1.0, so,
mhm.
and archive this somewhere.
Right. And the last, like as I was talking to you earlier, right? The last RC on this one was RC2 when we did the system release RC2. So we need to release this project as well, or this repo as well.
Yes, that's
So
Yeah, we need to release. Yeah, that's the spec repo.
so let's create a PR on or an issue on this one. I can create an issue right now. New issue. Update readme.md file. Overall.
Do you want to add the new issue to the notes or?
I think we should add this. Let me create the new issue right now. I just created a placeholder right now. It's
Yeah, send me the link.
Yeah. Let me switch from the PC now that I have rebooted my PC.
Sharing one of the links right now. We're going to share a release. Need to cut a release issue next. Issues. Need to- This is the one for the release. And I don't have maintainer permissions on it, so I can't edit and mark them for 1.0.0.
Can you ping the issue?
I just pinged, I just put both of them in chat.
I think I will have that, so I can do it.
Hmm.
Have done that, yeah. Updated the milestones.
For both of them, okay. I'm doing a quick pass at these things. No time. So Pritish, like from a specification perspectives here, there are quite a bunch of open issues. Do you want to read through those open issues to see there's none that we require to fix? Like,
I mean, go through them, yeah. Like open issues as in the repo, not here, right?
yeah, open issues in the repo that we have not marked for 1.0, but we should mark them for 1.0.
Yeah.
Do a sanity check.
We'll do that, yeah.
So I think where I am on this one, is looking at the amount of work and wealth, I think we can generate the binary for notation for sure, because that's the only one fix we want to address there. But announcing notation 1.0.0 without these updates, I don't want to do that. So I don't want to make the blog announcement for notation, even though notation is separate from the Notary project specs. But I think people will think of them as one thing together.
Mhm. So, do we think that we can address those issues over the next couple of days, or how long do you think, Samir, we can spend on fixing those?
I think the overhauling, I think both of them can be done over the weekend. If you but this weekend, I just don't have any time this weekend. Otherwise, these are weekend tasks. Like this is not something I can do during the day, but this weekend I can't. I can take a pass
It-
at updating the README, but I can't do it this weekend. So it will be something that I'll do middle
No,
of next week.
let's not take the weekends for that. Yeah, let's maybe if we can, if you have time to start it this week, and then we can review Monday, Tuesday. That's fine. I think announcement we can go with like Wednesday or Thursday next week.
Yeah, and I think we can release notation 1.0.0. I think if we are just talking
Yeah,
about if the PR is fixed, we can cut a release for notation 1.0.0. Let's do that tomorrow or whenever that fix is checked in, and then we can release a version of. And I will even suggest, Pritesh, if you're okay with this, to even cut a new release for the two libraries as 1.0.0 as well.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have OneDrive
Yeah,
for
yeah.
all the repos.
All okay for all the three code repos. Okay, yeah, I think let's do that. Let's get that done for sure as soon as possible.
Yeah, just 4 repos.
Okay.
Just to
4
like
repos.
Notary project, core, go, annotation.
Yeah, and all I'm saying is on the Notary project, I don't know if we'll be ready by Monday, but at least for the code repos, we should be ready by Monday, right? The Notary project
I
repo
would say
will
let's do
also.
a release in one shot. It takes less than 1 hour to cut the releases. So I would do it whenever you are ready for all 4 of them instead of staging them.
But see, the tags will not be mutable, right? So even if we don't announce to the world, we will make the announcement once we have 1.0 for all the 4 repos.
Why do we want to do that? What do we gain from them doing in different stages? I mean, if you want, it's fine. I mean, I'm just saying, decide a date and stick by it, and we will do on that day.
No, because we just identified there's more work in the Notary project repo at the moment, right? And that's what I'm saying. I don't know when that work will be complete. Will that be probably complete on Monday or Tuesday of next week?
Got you. I mean, for sure, we have some work in notation also, so we cannot do. I don't think would be able to do it on Monday.
But the notation work is only just that one code change, right? There's no other code change required. That the PR is out there.
That's true. I mean, I'm fine with that. We can start voting on. We can start cut the issues to start voting on them.
Yeah, but I think what we are agreeing, and this is the last thing, like we will not formally announce notation 1.0 blog until the Notary project repo also has cut a 1.0.0 version. And some of those governance issues we identified are fixed, because we don't want to announce to the world it is here until all the things are done.
Indirectly, you are announcing by cutting a release there for notation.
No, but we are not blogging about it, right? We are not blogging about it.
But
Yes,
even if you don't blog, release is out. 1.0 is a major release. I agree. You're just not communicating it. It's there if someone wants to look at it.
okay. Yeah, I don't want people to start scrutinizing it without everything in place. That's my overarching requirement.
And that's the reason I'm saying let's decide and look at everything, because release is not a major task to do
Okay.
it.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
And if we want, we can cut the branches on the day so that even if someone else get merged into the code base, it won't affect our release.
Okay.
So are we saying that we'll not cut the code releases on Monday, but we'll wait until we are ready with the Notary project plans?
That's what we are concluding, yes. Let's sleep over it because that's the last thing
You
we have
cannot have
discussed.
you cannot have an implementation 1.0 without spec 1.0. I mean, that looks wrong to me.
Yeah, it is wrong from that perspective.
Okay. So let me add to the note, and maybe let's. I will try to start some of those things, and also ask Feynman and E to help with kind of getting the Notary project issues that we identified. At least have a PRs for us by, I would say, if they have PRs by tomorrow morning, we can start iterating them even this week and eventually get them completed by Monday or Tuesday next week, which means that we can target the release for Wednesday next week, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
So we are close. We are just don't think we're going to hit the 12th date. We'll see tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's sleep over it. And I agree actually with what you guys are saying. So without the spec, it will be good to have the binaries. Okay. That's the agreement. So I will ask Feynman and me to start working on those things and get PRs for us. I'll try to look. I have some time, maybe today afternoon, to take a look. So I may start one of the PRs.
That will be great.
For the tool. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Okay, bye.
Appreciate it. Have a nice day.
You too.
I'll hear you on Monday.
Will do. Bye.